Hi everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus of Threshold of Hineni. I just knew that my camera was going to shut off any minute, so I stopped it. And this will probably go for maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes to finish this up. So I wanted you to be able to see the whole thing if you wanted to. So I've just got a few more pieces that I need to put on this Frankenpaper that we're making. Kind of getting to the end here. I don't want everything going the same direction. So, let's see, what were we talking about when I had to turn this off? I don't remember. Oh, I was just saying you could, yeah, send me your scraps. That would be so much fun, actually. It would really be fun. I wouldn't mind that, you guys, seriously. Here, I can sew this down. So at this point, one of the things that I'm doing besides filling in the few little spaces that are left is I'm looking for any places where the edges are not sewn down, like here, okay, and here, so I can sew those down because all of your edges need to be sewn down. But the main thing I'm doing at this point is I'm looking for spaces on the paper that still need to be filled, as well as places that need to be sewn, have the edges sewn down. Okay, so this piece, even though it's a little piece, I'm going to go all the way around it because you know, I'm not going to be putting any other pieces on top of it or sliding any under it, so I want to get it all sewn down. And I just continued on through that, across that dictionary page, because, you know, the more sewing you have on it, the better it feels. It just feels really cool. Here's another edge that I can sew down. And another right here. This cough that I have has just gone on forever, and it's making my lungs feel really heavy. I'm not like hacking away all the time, but when I cough it's kind of painful, and I've had some of my students' parents have commented on it, not in a, you know, not in a bad way, just that they're concerned. I have heard of parents complaining about their teacher coughing. I don't understand that, but none of my parents have, and they wouldn't. I have parents that are all very, very kind. So they're just concerned. You know, and they're, at this time, while I'm recording this, they're going through that whole Wuhan virus, the coronavirus thing there in China, which I'm really concerned about. But I think that that probably, you know, makes them a little bit more concerned to see me sick, even though, you know, we all know that's not what I have. Excuse me. One thing that a doctor was saying on one of the programs that I watched about the coronavirus was not to cough into your elbow. You know how people tell you to cough into your elbow? And he said, if you do that, then stop and think about it. If you then cross your arms, you're putting your hands on the inside of your elbow where you've coughed. And so you're going to get those germs on your hands. And then you're going to touch your face or shake somebody's hand or touch a surface that could, you know, keep the virus alive until someone else touches it. So he said that's just really not a good idea. He said he couldn't really figure out why anybody ever thought that was a good idea. I always thought it was a good idea. Guilty. So, but what he said made sense, you know. So I'm trying to get out of that habit. He said just keep tissues on hand so that you can cough into those, and that way you can just throw it away. So I'm trying to be good and learn to do these things the way that the experts say you should. Okay, so we're getting down to where, you know, we don't need huge pieces. We can just use small pieces. to hear the church chimes. They every hour it plays a different hymn, and then of course it plays, you know, on the quarter hour it plays the Big Ben kind of stuff. It's playing "Shine Jesus Shine" right now. So I guess that's not a hymn. That's I think right now they've got it on like more modern choruses, like from the 1990s or so. They used to always have hymns, so I guess it just depends on what they've decided to put up there. For a long time they weren't playing anything, which was really sad because I really enjoy having it playing. It's pretty. Okay, so I'm catching some edges here as I'm going along. Just looking for places that I can sew edges down. Okay, so there's a little space that I need to fill in. Hear that? Isn't that pretty? That's what I get to listen to all day. The church is like basically across the street from me. The parking lot is across the street from me. So it's really easy for me to keep track of time if I pay attention, because it rings every 15 minutes. And if you pay attention, then you can tell from the particular chime what time it is. I would sing with it, but no, you don't want to hear me. You can sing along if you know "Shine Jesus Shine." And when you're turning it, you know, you can just kind of roll it to fit underneath the sewing machine while you work your way around these pieces. Okay, so I just have a few more places that I need to fill in. I need to fill in here and here and here. So let's do this euro. Oh, there's not really a good place for it. You know, I'm going to save that for a different one, because I kind of want to keep it whole. I don't really want that line. Let's sew this right here. I'm going to sew all but that one edge that's still got blank beside it, because that's a nice torn edge, and so if I have something that has a straight edge, I can stick it underneath this. And you're not trying to be like super neat or anything like that, you know, because we're going for kind of a shabby chic look here. Okay, so that can all, I can sew all the way around that edge. Excuse me. Let's get this whole edge here. So we're almost done sewing stuff down, and then we can make sure that we don't have any edges that need to be sewn down. Excuse me. So one of the things that I did for my birthday, I had mentioned earlier that Bill and I always looked for a cause that we could ask people to donate to, and I decided to try to find an organization, you know, that I could find was trustworthy, you know, that I knew that the money was going to go where it was saying it was going to go, that would be taking medical supplies into China, because with this coronavirus, you know, they've shut down the cities and everything, and they're running out of stuff. So it took quite a bit of research, but there was now I thought I remembered the name of it, but now I can't remember. I called around to some reputable organizations that I knew of, and the one that ended up giving me some good information was Samaritan's Purse, and he was able to direct me to a website. They don't do anything in China, but he was able to direct me to a website where I could check out charities and where they're rated, and they tell about them, what they do, and how the money is used and everything, and what their rating is. And if you really drill down, at least with the particular agency that I chose, you could see their tax papers and everything. So that was very helpful. And I'll try to remember to put that at the bottom too, because if you ever want to try to find out about a charitable organization, that would be a helpful thing to have. Okay, so I'm sewing down some edges here. That's why I was going such a long way, because I saw a whole series of edges that needed to be sewn down. With the thin paper, like the dictionary paper, I do tend to, like if I'm sewing someplace near, I'll just kind of like sew straight through it, because the more I've got holding it down, the better. I'm just checking to see if there are any edges that I've missed. Okay, here's an area that needs some paper on it. There's a couple areas actually. How about right here? Okay, so that'll help some. Still going to need a couple more pieces. Yeah, so anyway, it's always good to check out the organizations that you donate to. If they're not well known, and sometimes you already know, that it's a good organization and you can trust how they're using the money and stuff, but sometimes you can't, and it's hard to find, organizations that, China will allow to come in and work there and stuff, and so it was difficult. So the organization I ended up with was Give to Asia, and you can find them at give2asia.com. Again, I'll try to remember to link them at the bottom too. They help with a lot of things in Asia. They have a lot of projects, so even though you'll be seeing this, hopefully the coronavirus will already be gone by the time that you see this. Now this is kind of a big piece with all the same thing. I don't really want to cover up all this nice design, but I am going to put just one thing on here to just kind of break it up a little bit. Actually, let's put it over where it's white more. Okay, like that. Because I don't really like having a big space that's all the same. Okay. Okay, so we still have a space here and a space here. Is that it? I think that might be all. Let's see what we can find here. But, well, this would be good here. Let's use that right there. Okay, so we'll, there's some right there too, some space open there. Okay, so let's go ahead and, sorry, I was just mumbling. I was just saying there's some space open there. I've also noticed occasionally, it seems like once a week, but I'm not really sure that it's on the same day because I haven't paid attention very well, but about once a week lately I've been hearing bagpipes playing, and I don't know if it's from that church or someplace else. So that's kind of fun and interesting. Okay, what do I have? Oh, here's some nice paper here. Let's use this. Right here. And then we'll just have one more piece that we need to get on, and then we'll do a final inspection to make sure that all of our edges are sewn down. And then I will distress all the way around the outside edge. I don't distress each individual piece because it just would take forever. but I do distress around the outside edge. And then we'll sew around the outside edge, and then that'll be it. We'll be done. Oh no, I still want to add, sorry, I'm not that close to be done. I still want to add some fabrics and fibers and stuff to it. Although, I don't know, this kind of looks fine without it. Let me see what I've got in my little box here, and if I've got some good pieces that are ready, then I'll use them. Otherwise, I might not put any on this. I usually put, you know, some leftover threads and lace and stuff like this, but I don't know if I have any in this box. So we'll see. Okay, let me see if I've got all my edges sewn and all my spaces filled. I think so. Yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, let's see what we have, like, as far as, here's a little bit of lace. There's some tiny pieces of yarn, but not a lot. Here's a nice piece of yarn. Okay, so let's sew that on, and then we'll cut this lace up into a few pieces, and we can sew that on. Okay, so see, I've just got this wad of yarn here, and I'm going to put it, I've got a strip that's just brown packing paper, so I'm going to just go ahead and put that there. And probably what will happen as I'm sewing it is that the presser foot will push it along, so it's not going to just be all in one place like that. See? So that's how it is, and it just adds some nice interest. There are some pieces that are loose that didn't get in there, so I'm going to sew over those real quick. It just, I don't know, I like it. You know, it's kind of fun to have these little soft pieces of yarn on there and stuff. That kind of pushed the yarn all over the place. That was cool. Okay, see, so you've got little pieces of yarn there. Okay, we've got a piece of lace, so let's cut this into 3 pieces. Okay, I like to use an uneven number. I'm not sure that it really matters, but that's what I do. Okay, and I'm gonna make sure that it overlaps a few different pieces, preferably something dark so that the white lace shows up. And I'm gonna sew all the way around the edge. Sometimes I leave like one edge open to slide something under it, but I think that we're close to being done here, so I'm not going to do that. Just sew it down. There we go. Oh, here's a piece that seems to be coming up. Okay. So you can see this is, I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not difficult at all. It's fun to do. Great way to use up your scraps so that you're not just throwing them away. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you do throw them away, you guys. I'm not condemning you or judging you if you do throw your scraps away, but this is a good way to use them. It's fun. Waste not, want not, right? Okay, and then let's put a piece right here. And then we will be ready to just distress the edges. Okay, now I've still got kind of a large piece here, so I'm going to just kind of go across it. And I'm going to go down over this piece of dictionary paper to make sure that it gets held down too. I've never had them tear, but the dictionary pages from old dictionary are a little, I think a little fragile. Oh, this needs to be, it's got an edge that's just sticking up there. 2 edges actually. Okay. All right, and then we'll just very quickly distress all the way around the edge. We don't have to be like super thorough with that, but it just makes it look nice. And so also if when you cut this up, if you cut it up to use for various things, which you probably will, you know, then 2 things that you want to do. If you've distressed around all the edges all the way around, then you're going to want to distress the edges of whatever you cut it into. The other thing is that you're going to want to sew or glue all the way around the edge of whatever you've cut it into. Okay, I had a little bit of white space there, so I made sure that it got inked up really well, and that way we don't have to go in and fill it in with something, because now we are done with that part, and when we're done, we're done. Okay. But see, isn't that cool looking, you guys? It's so much fun. I love making this stuff. And the ones that I sell, I don't charge a lot for them. It takes me, I mean, you can see it takes me probably about an hour to do one. And I do not charge an hour's worth for it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now the only thing that we have left is to sew all the way around the edge. So we're going to do that real quick. And when I say real quick, I mean real quick. I'm going to turn my speed up. Just going along the edge of the whole page. Just to finish it off and make sure everything's held down really well so it doesn't tear if it gets bumped into or something. And when I store these, waiting to be used, I store them all flat in a drawer. They're not like super delicate or anything, but if I had them where they were just getting jostled around, you know, the corners and stuff might get pushed up. Okay. Now there was a little paper here that was sticking out and it got pushed over, so we just distressed that. So there we are. That's it. There are a few places that are kind of white, so I'm going to go over those with the distressing ink really quickly. Let's do that. So it doesn't look too white. There we go. How's that look, you guys? You like that? Okay, that's it. See how easy it was? I mean, it's time consuming, yes, but it's a lot of fun, and it really makes something really nice in your junk journal. Okay, I love you all. Let's pray for each other, okay? Bye-bye.